Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Overwatch Pug. We are casting this match, and again, I am Abacus, and with me is my co-caster, Setka.
Hello, hello, hello. It's got a 4.4k scrim coming at you. In the red, we have Magna Ventus, led by Xirius, Omiske, Pedal, Noro, Aduuuh, and Bumper Fan 420. And in the blue, we have the Weird Squad with RigPig, Skarm, Lunacy, Dogefighter, Slar, and Aeko jumping right into this match on Xirius. And we see an unconventional comp on Magna Ventus actually running triple DPS composition. So versus that standard Reinhardt 3-3, it's going to be interesting to see how they play around this point.
Yeah, I see that Weird Squad is a little bit slower to get to the point than Magna Ventus. Magna Ventus is currently holding the advantage, trying to knock Dogefighter off the cliff, not succeeding at that. Both teams are coagulating on the point right now, trying to get something of a type advantage. I see that the Weird Squad seems to be succeeding in their endeavors to capture the point at the time being, with Magna Ventus trying to push in and delay this cap as long as they can, but they are not able to do so for long.
Although Bumper Fan finding a lot of poke damage there, everyone's below 50% as RigPig falls down, so falling even here and actually getting a slight advantage, and Magna Ventus might have their window right now.
Yeah, I dare say they do have their window. They just equalized, lost one player, and actually the positional advantage does seem to stick with Weird Squad at the moment, though they have lost their Diva mech, and it looks like Magna Ventus is going to take this opportunity to sweep in, try and capture the point, and that was a successful push.
Yeah, that was a lot of good focus damage there on the side of Magna Ventus. It's very hard to break that Reinhardt 3-3, but playing it safe, getting the pressure they needed in, wait until Noro came back on the wrecking ball, and then finally collapsing on there, did a perfect job there. That's what you want to do with those multi-DPS compositions trying to break goats. And now, Xirius has his EMP, so this is basically a lost fight here for the Weird Squad.
Yeah, things aren't looking good for this next push. Magna Ventus not only has the positional advantage, they also have the ultimate advantage. Speaking of which, there come the ultimates now. Skarm the Lucio, the only person managed to get through that double ultimate combo, but he is not going to stick around for long, and he is going to sleep with the fishes. Like you predicted, very easy hold for Magna Ventus. They actually managed to get 2 more ultimates online and retain the ultimate advantage going into this next fight.
And so now that we push into this, the Weird Squad now is coming close to that Graviton Surge, which with this really spread out comp may not be the most useful composition, but they do have that rally, which normally isn't the most supportive ultimate, but it gives you that little bit of boost to beat that energy here, and they actually switch to a Sombra of their own in a very, very quick 2 picks here with the Weird Squad.
Interesting, yeah. I wouldn't say that Magna Ventus is out just yet. Aeko the Brigitte did pop her rally and did manage to fin off Bumper Fan on Pharah. So yeah, never mind. Point retracted. I believe the Weird Squad is going to be able to sweep in and flip this point. And actually they managed to hold it for a reasonable amount of time.
Magna Ventus is at full force. They say that Noro are going to fall in the wrecking ball. So now the Weird Squad has a chance to build a decent percentage here. They have to wait until everyone pushes through. And Pedal actually being hacked might be in a really bad spot here.
Yeah, that's not good. Not able to use that tactical visor for a little bit. Though Xirius has not been detected and is actually behind enemy lines, very close to getting an EMP of his own. And
this is like the race of who can DDoS the other team first right now. If Xirius can get it before Lunacy can, that's going to be a one fight as they can use the EMP and the visor. But if Lunacy can pop his, they're going to be able to use the Graviton Surge in it, and Skarm falls fairly early there, so that's a massive retreatment tool gone.
Yeah, that's a golden opportunity for Magna Ventus if they want to push in on that. And there we go. We have an EMP with a soldier ult on point, sweeping. That is a clean sweep. I believe that is a team kill. Or no, Skarm was able to get out with his life, not for particularly long, but is going to delay this cap for a couple milliseconds. And that is the point going to Magna Ventus.
And see, now you're in a really awkward spot if you are Magna Ventus here, because they have the Graviton Surge and the EMP, and so normally that's Omiske's job on the Lucio to drop beat to save everyone, but EMP actually negates the overshield that beat drop provides, and so it's going to be very hard to actually win this fight for Magna Ventus. They have to find a crucial pick, otherwise it's going to be almost impossible to beat it. And Noro falling early is not what you want, and they managed to get capture off.
They didn't even have to, they didn't even really have to fight them. They just had to kind of cycle in and take it. Magna Ventus didn't have anybody to contest that point. So now, in a split second, the teams have switched, and now the advantage goes the way of the Weird Squad, with Magna Ventus having to retake. Bumper Fan 420 with an ultimate on point, very successful in managing to plow through most of the defense on the point right there. There is a Sombra. Lunacy's going to try to contest, not for particularly long. And who's even contesting at this point? Oh, Dogefighter on Winston. And now we have the time ticking down, 94%.
Yeah, RigPig actually had to invest trance to try and touch that point, but was booped off. So that was a very, very clean multiple DPS composition we saw there out of Magna Ventus. They played around their centralized damage so well that we saw the Weird Squad switch to the Sombra just to try and find that hack into Noro and the Wrecking Ball or to the Pharah, and really not getting what they need. So now as we go onto well, it's gonna be interesting to see how these teams react, because you oftentimes do see a Pharah here, but you will also see in equal amounts the Winston 3-3 or the Orisa. So now it's gonna see if the Weird Squad has an ace up their sleeve they can pull out, or if they're gonna be stuck trying to go against this great 3-3 we see here.
And it looks like the Weird Squad is trying to decide what heroes they want to play. Looks like they're going with an Ana Lucio healer squad with a Pharah. So a Pharah without a Mercy. Interesting. We have both teams pushing in there. Only one team has a Lucio, and actually there's the Mercy, so they made a last-minute swap. But that is going to give Magna Ventus the opportunity to take the positioning around the point faster than the Weird Squad. Though they're not going to be able to take it before Weird Squad is able to show up, start dealing damage, they're trying to hold this position over here in the corner, and they're going to have an easy time of it because of this Orisa.
Oh, Omiske actually falls very early. They're trying to look for a boop, and it's paid for his hubris. Nuko coming behind looking for it, but it's not going to matter as Slar is just finding everyone he needs, getting Pine flashbacks now as he finds a 4th kill of the fight.
Oh, that was awesome. That was a bunch of little skirmishes, and most of them went the way of the Weird Squad. Noro only able to do so much as a lone Pharah. Bumper Fan and Aduuuh as Mercy are back to try and get some chip damage, trying to build their ultimates. They're not going to be able to push in until they have more teammates ready. And the Weird Squad is actually pushing forward, trying to hold this choke point, make it difficult for Magna Ventus to push into the point, much less capture it.
I mean, they're playing so spread out, and now it's Petal actually might be staggering himself here on this Tracer. Gonna have to jump off the map. It's so hard to find a centralized focus spot there for Magna Ventus that they're just really wasting percentage, because the Weird Squad has an Orisa and a Roadhog, so they know that they're playing around that. That is their anchor on the point. And so Aeko and Skarm can play in the air, and Slark can play with the rest of the team. And now they're having to switch to this Winston 3-3 kind of late into this, as the Weird Squad already building up 50%. If they don't build these ultimates in this fight, it's going to be hard for them to actually find any progress on this point here.
Yeah, this is a tall order for this one. I think their goal is to probably try to bait out some ultimates in this fight, even if they aren't going to be able to hold it. And oh no, Winston. All right, Noro able to keep himself alive, stay on the point for a little bit longer. We have Justice raining from above from the Weird Squad's Aeko, getting a couple of kills. But this is not a clean fight on either side. This could, I believe, this could go either way at the moment. At least there are still people alive on both teams. Though, yeah, it looks like it's going to go the way we expect. Oh, hey, there, the Pharah just fell from Zenyatta.
Dogefighter saying, I don't need a Pharah, I can be the DPS, finding a nice little 3 pop in the kill feed there, and throughout that entire fight, Petal only managed to charge 30% to his Graviton Surge, so now they have to push into this on Noro to hope he can find that last 20% to his Primal Rage and stay alive long enough. Otherwise, we're gonna go to a map 3 here.
Yeah, this is do or dime time for Magna Ventus. They need to get something to happen, and they need to get it to happen now.
You know, Omiske dying is really not what you want. Noro is able to charge that Primal Rage, but not able to really find anything, as there's so much centralized damage. Oh my god, Storm was up to the well. They had to prop the Transcendence just to try and keep going through, and the suck comes through. Oh my god.
Oh no, ulting Noro has fallen into the pit. Who's left? I'm not sure there's even anyone left to contest this. We got Brigitte trying to push in there. We have Lucio. Oh, Dogefighter has been booped into the pit as well. Gave Petal enough time to get her Zarya ultimate off, though there wasn't anyone really to capitalize on that damage. And Petal is too far over there, and Noro and Bumper on Brigitte, they're able to continue contesting the point with the Aduuuh supporting, but it's going to be difficult for them to push into this. And at the moment,
it's not over though. Noro's back. Aeko kind of shutting that down, but still with 2 tanks here, this could be possible. Xirius might be able to charge that bomb, get to that Hail Mary miracle. It's so hard to really knock everyone off this point.
Oh, this overtime is insane, and finally the Weird Squad is able to pull it off after a very long overtime hold. We are going to a 1-1 tiebreaker point on Ilios.
Yeah, gonna be going to ruins there, and the best way I can describe that map was like a perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because everything was spread out very far and very evenly, where unless you have 18 eyeballs, you really couldn't watch everybody at once there. So now as we go to a more traditional 3-3 brawling map, this point is wide open, you have to play on the low ground, it really favors that Reinhardt. So pushing into this, we haven't really seen a super strong 3-3 from either team, and so this is really the map that's going to decide not only who wins Ilios, but who's going to dictate the momentum for the rest of this game, because if you win this map, it shows that your 3-3 is stronger than the other team's 3-3, so now it's up to them to play against you, and we see a Reinhardt 3-3 from Magna Ventus, but kind of taking...
They're not wasting any time because, I mean, on the last point, remember, they didn't go into goats until about halfway. This time they're starting on goats. Or you know, maybe they're not. Maybe they saw the enemy comp. They saw there was a Widow, saw there was a Pharah, and they're like, we're just gonna give the point up for now. Here, Weird Squad, you can take the point, and we'll be back.
Yeah, actually switching to a 2-2-2 here. You know, when you see that Pharah, you're going to switch to that Winston because playing Reinhardt into Pharah is just generally a bad idea. But actually going over to the Genji and along with the Sombra, so a very unusual comp. Bumper Fan 420 though falling super early into this fight, really not what you want to see.
Yeah, I get why they switched characters. I mean, I get why they switched characters, but this is going to be tough to come back from, and they're giving up a fairly decent amount of capture time, and they're losing the team fight, at least for the time being. Both teams chipping each other down. I'd say that right now the advantage is still definitely for the Weird Squad in both ultimates and positioning, though Magna Ventus is trying to push in there again, try to hold this point for a little bit longer. We've got Dogefighter on Hammond attacking Noro. Noro managing to get out with his life to keep this push happening, at least get back to his team without being staggered.
Spoke a little bit too soon there. Noro actually falls here early, and now
dear.
Slar has his Widow sights up, and this is just a massacre. Dogefighter is going to be hacked, so it does give them a little bit of space to breathe, but they're really being forced to hide inside these buildings just to avoid Aeko's deadly precision on this Pharah.
Wow, the Weird Squad have completely turned this around from the first point. They're looking dominant on these second and third points. Magna Ventus isn't able to get anything to happen, and oh, there we go. Tracer falling, Omiske defending his Ana, and that might be the opportunity they need to flip the point.
Point's actually going to flip their Dogefighter. That entire fight was left behind being hacked and couldn't get to his team, and so they know that Winston find one kill, and that point is as good as done, and now able to take so much more stakes because they don't have to worry about the point being captured here, and they're chasing Slar down heavily. And a massive hack onto Aeko means he cannot fly into the air. Your entire purpose is a Pharah, so now Magna Ventus striking back with what they need to.
And here we go, the Hammond pushing in onto the point with a combo. Pharah ult getting countered, at least, I mean, not quickly enough to prevent the kills, but the Sombra ult does actually get all 6 people on the Weird Squad. But I'd say things are going the way of the Weird Squad for retaking this point at the moment. And there we go.
Gonna get a flip here, coming on to 70%, and now Magna Ventus really has to find their stride soon. And they're coming up on 2 key ultimates here. They're gonna have the Primal Rage and the Blade, so might be able to get a Nano Blade combo here. There's not a break like you normally see to shut down that Genji, so this Nano Blade could be devastating.
Yeah, well, it needs to be. They're so far behind on percentage points, and Bumper Fan actually being hacked is able to hold on to his ult and is going to be able to use it in this upcoming push, but how many more pushes do they even have left at this point? They need to recapture this point. I almost thought they were going to give the point to them, but no, Dogefighter going to hold the point for a little bit. As time ticks out, we are going to have an overtime Genji ult at the last minute. Not particularly successful, but they are able to flip the point. It gave them the space they needed.
Yes, but Slara has so much free space. He's still killing everybody right now. The Nano onto Noro is a last-ditch attempt, but there's really no one for him to focus down as this one Winston.
But they're not out of this yet. They are managing to stay on the point for the time being, though they need to be very careful. Lunacy and Dogefighter both falling. Positionally, I wouldn't say the Weird Squad are in a great position right now, but percentage-wise, they can afford to be. They only need to just recapture the point and hold it. And they have
finding
35
Slar is a good way to actually hold that, because now you can put all your focus onto Aeko, because with your attention split, if you look at Slar, Aeko finds kills. You look at Aeko, Slar is finding these kills. So now taking one prong out of this pincer becomes a bit of a useless fork. Now RigPig is going to have this EMP come up here very soon, though. These minefields are trying to zone them off, and I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. That minefield, I think he was aiming for the Ana, but the Ana was too easily defended, and there comes a Sombra ultimate, hitting only Lunacy from what I can tell. Not a particularly successful ultimate there. Tracer's already unhacked, has her pulse bomb ready, and sees a target, but it's not actually able to land that. Things are, and we made it. We made it to overtime. The Weird Squad, they're gonna have to retake this, and so far they're not having an easy time of it.
Yeah, solo EMP on Noro there, who's instantly going to find this kill. So, I mean, an amazing turnaround there by Magna Ventus.
I didn't think they were going to be able to do it. I'm not going to lie. I thought that the Weird Squad was going to retake that point at some point, but they were just stonewalled at every available opportunity. I mean, I think they had some really real possibilities there. On numerous occasions, they had the ultimate advantage, and they couldn't really translate those ultimates into kills.
And see, again, that's the main problem with running a non-traditional comp like the 3 DPS, because you don't have any point presence, because who are you going to send on the point besides your Wrecking Ball? You know, Widowmaker can't do it, Aeko and the Pharah definitely can't do it, and so oftentimes you saw they found that key hack onto Dogefighter there without their one tank. They had to give up the point, and so oftentimes Magna Ventus would come in before a fight even started, take the point away from the Weird Squad, and then build that percentage up. So even if they lost it, it was still really a neutral fight. So going 1-1 on this series, we have not seen a lot of 3-3, and I'm very excited about that.
I'm amazed at how many different times one team captured the point with no enemy presence. Like, there were a lot of times that the enemy, like, one team would just sweep in and take the point, and then suddenly they're on defense, and the other team is now on offense, and the other team didn't really have the comps to block them in any way.
So now as we wait to go into this next map, it's going to be interesting to see once we get to these later stages, once we have assault and payload maps to where you're more forced onto that 3-3, if what team's more comfortable in getting off of their untraditional style, because both these teams doing a very good job right now.
Yeah, I'm particularly interested in watching attack defense, because I've noticed that both of these teams seem to have very strong defenses. They both seem to prefer holding the point and having to prevent the enemy from pushing in. That's why I've noticed on a lot of occasions when they don't have the right comp to defend, they just back off and they say, all right, well, we'll just wait until we have a stronger offensive push. So on a map where one team is forced to be defense and one team is forced to be full-time offense, where you can't flip effortlessly between being on attack and being on defense, I am interested to see how they deal with that.
All right, don't know what the holdup is right now, so technical difficulties going on the scrim side. So to again just highlight some of the key things this match, we saw a lot of pharmacy versus pharmacy, and teams kind of forget how to play again, because we haven't seen pharmacy in the meta in almost a year, and so sometimes you forget that the point exists, having to worry about that Pharah so much. So it's interesting to see these teams like on the spot have to relearn how to play against these comps.
I was also interested in seeing the Sombra use by both teams. Both teams ran a lot of Sombra, and yet I didn't see many opportunities where the EMP had much of an impact on the fight. I feel like in a number of occasions, the EMP either hit nobody, hit everybody, but nobody died. There was I can only think of like 2 occasions, and they were both on the very first part of Ilios, where the Sombra ult actually affected a team fight.
And again, to go back to that peanut butter and jelly sandwich metaphor, everyone's so spread out that we oftentimes saw, like solo EMPs, just because that's a way to maybe get one pick off of it, because that's the best you can do. Because if there's a situation to where you can get a 6-man EMP, it's oftentimes not going to be a situation where you can capitalize on it. And so Goats has taught us the importance of having to save ultimates for the perfect opportunity, but in these more sporadic compositions, if you can find any value out of your ultimate, it could just be exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah, and I do feel like there were a lot of that in this particular fight, where, I mean, you think of how Goats usually works out. You have these giant slugfests with everybody piling on the point, one person dying, and then the whole team getting swept. There weren't a lot of team sweep kills in this particular fight. There just were a lot of 1 or 2 picks that turned the tide, and the survivors, usually you'd get 1 or 2 survivors who limped their way off of a failed defense or offensive push to get back to their team successfully. there was just so much to keep track of. There weren't these really obvious. There wasn't a very obvious flow to the battle. It seemed like there was something happening somewhere on the map at any given time, and at no point were there these really obvious pickets charge where one team just takes the other one down.
Yeah, a bunch of really scrappy fights, and I personally love seeing that because it highlights individual play so much. You know, so like if you're playing Pharah or you're playing Tracer or even Ana, that gives you the ability to say, okay, I need to make this clutch play. And whether that's just finding 5 direct rocket hits and killing 3 people, or finding that sleep dart on the ulting Genji, or whatever, it gives you so much potential to do that. It also gives you potential to crumble under the pressure, and it brings in that mental fortitude that players oftentimes can lack.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Pharah, I definitely enjoyed seeing the Pharahs on both teams. I feel like the aerial presence, this was so much more of a 3-dimensional fight than you usually see on Ilios. I feel like usually on Ilios, you get a lot of combat on the ground, mostly because maps like the Well and the Ruins encourage the ground, and then the Lighthouse has such a small ceiling on top of the control point. But both of these teams ran so many Pharahs, and then Wrecking Balls, and then Genjis. There were constantly characters in the air. People had to look above them to make sure that they weren't getting swept from above, and to that effect, there were a lot of Pharahs getting kills with their ultimates, which is always nice to see, because Pharahs always have to worry about getting shut down.
And as we head to Route 66, I want to remind everybody in the audience that if you want to hear more of our beautiful voices, we will be casting for League Zero coming up this Saturday. It is a league run by Dividing by Zero with novice and advanced teams. So going to see some nice community Overwatch, and these teams are formed out of a draft league, so no one really knows anybody beforehand. So make sure you come on out and watch that. Now, Route 66, the epitome of 3-3, the worst payload map in my opinion. So now these teams are forced to run this 3-3 here, because if you don't, it's basically suicide. We've seen occasionally teams find mild success running some crazy compositions. This is actually the birthplace of quad DPS, but it never really worked out in the end. So I am really interested to see how these teams run into this.
Yeah, because, I mean, last map, both teams were so reliant on switching up their comps. Neither of them were shy to try something new when it wasn't working, to the point that they would lose a bunch of ultimate percentage just to switch everybody over to something else. And on a map like this, where it's so much more scripted, not scripted per se, but you know exactly what you have to play, there aren't as many comps that the community has found to be viable on this particular map. I think it may force these two teams to start sticking with what they have and making it work, as opposed to having to switch things up.
So speaking of switching things up, as the clock's about to go down, this might be a trope. No, they're walking out of the doors with this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so this is a Pharah with a Sombra and a Hanzo in a very early hold here by the Weird Squad. It's exactly what you want to do, because there's really no point in giving up all that free progress if they're going to play this clown fiesta of a composition. So now it's a matter of playing that point and like surviving this onslaught of DPS for the Weird Squad.
Yeah, the Weird Squad feeling the heat. You're like, oh no, I don't know if we have the right comp for this, and they're all hiding in this crash train. This is actually kind of hilarious. They're almost on defense. I guess they're on defense for sure, but they're having to push into the opponent as opposed to the other way around. We have a Reaper flanking up over the top, and the Weird Squads, they're not even getting any damage down. Everybody's at full health on Magna Ventus, and we see the first fall. Lunacy loses his mech. Dogefighter, the main tank, goes down, and that's probably going to seal the end of this first defensive hold.
Yeah, I mean, the way Magna Ventus played that was absolutely beautiful, because if you run this composition, your goal is to completely spread out the Weird Squad, and they did that very well, whether it was Noro coming in to really zone them off. And you saw what happens when goats get spread out. The domino effect happens where, oh, you lose your Lucio, you lose your Reinhardt, and now you lose Lunacy's mech, and so on and so forth until everyone dies. But holding so early, they have time to get a full respawn and actually push into here. And the key thing is that despite that fight being so long, Xirius only found 60% of his ult, but Bumper Fan is going to go ahead and cancel it, finding 2 with his barrage.
Yeah, that was awesome, and he's back. He may have died, but death is not permanent in Overwatch when you have a Mercy on your team. He's going to push in there, continue pouring damage on the defense, getting some help from a Sombra hack. That is a pretty solid sweep from the offensive team. I think Magna Ventus is almost certainly going to take this point before the Weird Squad is able to get back and contest any longer. So that's a pretty commanding first point right there. 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the clock for these last 2 points.
Yeah, RigPig switched over to that Mora to try and quick reverse healing to help through it, but again, playing around her into Farah is just not a good idea because you are left to her mercy. You basically have to play Dante's Revolution just to move your shield in the right place to block those rockets, and when you're doing that, you're exposing your team, and so this Farah really just running laps around them. I don't know if we've seen the proper switches. Slara switched over to some McCree to try and deal with it, but now he's really left a lot of damage on without the Zenyatta there to help focus down the rest of the team.
Yeah, Dogefighter really wants to use this Earth Shatter without having to switch characters, and oh dear, not able to use it yet. We have a Sombra ult with a Hammond ult, but it's not going to be enough to get any kills. Slater has managed to finish off Xirius, and did I hear I could have sworn I just heard a, no I didn't. Thought I heard a Hanzo ult, but I was wrong.
Yeah, a really good fight here by the Weird Squad, actually, using that Lucy ultimate to keep them in check, and Petal gonna find one with his Death Blossom, but it's not gonna be enough, and that's amazing stabilization there by the Weird Squad, playing far enough back to force Magna Ventus to use ultimate and important cooldowns just to get to them, and then reacting with their ultimates and pressing their advantage that is the card. So now as we see this, it's going to be much harder for Magna Ventus to find any ground in the first place, as they have to push in to the Weird Squad first.
And they are going to be doing so at an ultimate disadvantage. There are 3 ultimates ready on the Weird Squad's position, whereas Magna Ventus, they just switched a bunch of their characters. The only ultimate they're going to hold on to is this Lucio ult, which is going to make things very difficult. And actually, they seem to be holding back. I'm not sure what they're holding back for. I mean, you can technically build up ult in this position, but not particularly easily, and not as quickly as your opponent can. They're just bleeding time at the moment.
Looks like Petal's actually disconnected, yeah. I was wondering why, because they were switching over to that 3-3 composition, yet Petal stayed on the Soldier, so as we see a DC come into here.
Hopefully he returns. And what in your opinion should Magna Ventus do at this point? They've committed to a full switch. They've swapped everybody over except Lucio. Because I agree, I don't think they were going to hold that Soldier 76 on Petal. So assuming that Petal swaps to a 3rd tank, when do you think, like, what do you think they should push in on that, or are they being too passive? I suppose I should ask.
Well, yeah, Petal will most likely going to end up going to this Zarya to complete the 3-3 there, and the key factor is we haven't seen them play into a 3-3 fight, but as Slater, it has to be on that McCree to deal with what was Bumper Fans Farah. Without that Zarya there, that is the main source of damage completely negated from Goats. A 100 charge Zarya does so much damage, and that's what you really have to rely on. And so with that, Magna Ventus can really press that advantage because they're gonna have more DPS despite not having a damage character. You're gonna be able to burn down the Weird Squad, so they want to elongate that fight because the longer it goes, the more consistent damage you're gonna have.
That is a good point, yeah. So, I mean, they're going to have to go quickly because the Weird Squad is going to realize relatively quickly that, hey, these aren't the same heroes we were just playing. It looks like they've done a full team swap. They press tab, they see that their opponent has gone Goats, and then they're gonna send Slater back to try and pick a new character, probably a Zarya, to counter, and be ready for Magna Ventus' upcoming push, which requires Magna Ventus to go quickly and build up, because if they can build up an ultimate before there's an opposing Zarya, and they're the only team firing Gravitons, I think that could give them a serious advantage in this upcoming push.
And with the way the Weird Squad's been playing, you know, they're not opposed to switching, so it would not surprise me here to see that they force Magna Ventus to go to that normal 3-3 composition, that they literally run into Magna Ventus and not necessarily feed, but play as aggressive as you can, hope for a quick fight, and if you win, then you get more time off the clock, but if you lose, gives you a position to switch back to a typical 3-3 to mirror match them and still have time to defend this card on this point.
That would be interesting. I'm interested to see if they do that, because you have to remember when it comes to pauses, the players are also getting an opportunity to talk to each other and figure out what's going to happen. So it sounds like they're saying that. Do you think they're telling the truth that lightning took out his house?
It may be, and if so, it might just be divine intervention. So Petal might be
Might be out for the count. Do you know if they have a substitute prepared in the slightest?
We'll find out here in a second. And welcome to Scuffed Scrims. It seems as I don't Slater saying GG. I don't know if that's GG's is in the end of the scrim, which I hope not, because this has actually been very entertaining. So, we're gonna give Pedal a second to try and get back on. And as we wait, some good news in the Overwatch community, and Overwatch League and Action Esports have teamed up. So quality highlights coming your way soon.
I'm so excited for that, because Action Esports, they far and away had the best highlight videos back when they were allowed to do them, even compared to Blizzard's own highlight videos. And I mean, they were just the best. If I missed a video, I would go to Action Esports to check it out. And my heart was broken when Blizzard, I don't know if Blizzard C&D'd them, but in some way they said, you aren't allowed to make those anymore. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe they thought they were losing views from the official highlight videos. So I'm glad that Action Esports are about to become the official highlight videos, because I can only imagine with a team that talented and what they were able to accomplish without Blizzard's help, what they could get done now that they're going to have high quality VODs, spectator cams from every angle, and the true ability to put their skills to the test making Overwatch League videos. I'm very excited about that change.
And it looks like we're going to have a sub come in for Magna Ventus, as Navjeet is... looks like they were saying they're going to put Navjeet in, but it has Navjeet to happen. Yikes. That was horrible, but...
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know. Looking at this, it's an interesting position for the Weird Squad right now, because you have your Shatter and your Bomb. And that is enough to get a team wipe, especially with a team that they're going to be low on Zarya charge. They're going to be low on ult charge and all of it. So, I don't know. I'm really interested to see how this fight plays out. But just like Avengers Endgame, it seems to be stalling forever until an anticlimactic end.
Spoilers, maybe? I don't know. That wasn't really a spoiler. But speaking of lots of time, the Magna Ventus actually, I mean, they're still in kind of a good position here just because their first point capture was so commanding. I mean, they made it to the first point with 4 minutes and 30 seconds on their clock, and they've used up 2 of those minutes. But because of that, that's given them the cushion they need to bounce back on this. So, interesting. Is Navjeet able to get back in?
And it looks like, yep, Navjeet is in on the Zarya, so gonna be hopping right back into this in, 2.5 minutes. That's about standard time, which was a lot decreased from their 4-minute time because the cart had time now slide back. And a super aggressive fight here from the Weird Squad. They win this fight now or lose this fight now.
Yeah, the new person not wasting any time getting in here and helping out. They're going to push. They're going to take the point, start trying to push, and we're going to have our first real fight down here on the ground. I don't know if it was just because of the tactical pause. I guess it wasn't tactical, but the Weird Squad is being pushed very far back. They aren't able to contest this point at all.
And Slater actually finds Omiske with that. I don't know how he thread that needle with that high noon. So Slater finding 2 kills, and it looks like the Weird Squad actually managed to win this fight.
Wow. I thought that they were getting pushed back. I didn't know they were going to be able to pull that off. Newcomer Navjeet, the only person that's still alive on the field, not for particularly long. That is going to be a full reset. I mean, not a full reset. They still have some ultimates in the bank. Noro actually has his Earth Shatter ready, so he could get some real work done with that if he manages to push in there. And they definitely... Magna Ventus, they were able to push the cart a little bit. They were able to build up a bunch of ultimates. They have the ultimate advantage, and the Weird Squad is actually pulling back. They're gonna hold back and wait for the payload to get around this corner before they start contesting again.
Yeah, they had to wait for their supports to get back, as Dogefighter still hasn't healed up from last fight, so he does have this Shatter to match. We both rallies him off, and an amazing Shatter combo finds 5 people.
Oh, that was brilliant, and they didn't manage to get any kills, so they managed to force out Skarm's Lucio ultimate, and there we have a Graviton on the field. Perfect Graviton, managing to get a bunch of kills. If I'm not mistaken, that is almost a full team kill. That is a full team kill.
Yeah, that is 6 people down as Magna Ventus is going to push into point C here. So
couldn't ask for more. And there we go. maybe not as commanding a time bank as it was last time. They have 2 minutes on the clock pushing into this final point, and you need every second you can get to reach this last point on Route 66.
Yeah, Slater finally managing to go over to that Xirius. So now we do have the Ryan Goats 3-3 mirror match that we've been waiting for this entire game. And now Noro has his Shatter, managed to find 5 last time. If he can duplicate the success, they might be a hefty time bank on the side for Magna Ventus.
Especially because they're not going to have any support ults ready. RigPig just popped his. Scram's only halfway to his, and Lucio takes forever to charge. But that... I wouldn't say he got very much out of that Earth Shatter when he. I'll be honest, I didn't even see him pop it. But yeah. All right, yeah, that's gonna be a full reset. Luckily, it's up here on forward spawn. They don't have particularly far to go to get back to the payload, and they also have the ultimates to push in here. They've got a Brigida ult. Xirius has his mech bomb ready to go, but they only have 60 seconds to do it. Here we go. We have the push coming in. They've made it back to the control point. Both Brigidas popping their ultimate. Reinhardt pushing in with an Earth Shatter. Didn't really get anybody with it. Got a bit of damage, I suppose. Very quick to build up another. If Dogefighter can stay alive, he's so low. And no, he is going to fall. Bumper Fan getting the kill for his team, and that is going to cause the defense to cycle back. Who popped ult right there? All right.
Now yet actually using the Graviton Surge to get these straggler kills in.
But he didn't get the kills. They both made it out. Oh, no, they didn't. One of them made it out.
Find it here. Slater managed to get back with his life. More importantly, his Zarya charge. So now they're going to have damage going into here. The Graviton Surge is their last hope, and Aduuuh does have that trance. So this is going to be a hard fight to win, but not out of the possibility for the Weird Squad to win this year. Yeah, this is gonna be a nail biter. D.Va just used her defensive matrix, but it's going to be back off cooldown by this point. And we're going to have an overtime push. D.Va ult coming onto the field, does not manage to get any kills. Noro actually managing to fill off Dogefighter, which is not good for the defense. But and then that Zarya ult, it wasn't eaten, but I don't think it hit anybody. And here we go, we have both teams finding the value he needs out of that Graviton Surge. Now, the D.Va bot coming out, they're zoning people off, not going to find it kills its needed without their main tank here. Weird Squad's having a hard time finding any edge.
Yeah, at this point, the ace up their sleeve is just the fact that it's impossible to capture the last point of Route 66 unless a lot of things go your way. Speaking of things going your way, there comes the Graviton out. It was not eaten. A bunch of damage laid. Nobody actually getting killed. And members of the offense are falling. The defense is looking strong. Lucio, the last thing to manage to hold the point for just a little bit longer, but I don't believe this point's going to be captured. And there we go.
Yeah, I mean, when those long, drawn-out fights happen, whoever has the closer spawn is going to end up winning that, and that's exactly what happened there. Weird Spawn managed to stall the point out long enough to build up to 6 people, being able to win that team fight because they had a shorter walk back to there. So I'm going to go ahead and say that they were about 10 meters to capture there. I didn't get the official measurement for our official, not official measurement books of scrimmages.
Yeah, so we like to keep track and pretend, because the way it works in these scrims is that the reason that we restarted the server is so that both teams get the chance to push the payload the entire way. Now that doesn't matter that much when it looks like this, because they almost got to the point anyway. But we want both teams to have a full chance to push through this map. And so, but we also, just as casters, we like to keep an eye on who got how far so that we can award the map unofficially to one of the 2 teams.
And so getting both teams a chance to fully push here, I wonder if the Weird Squad, who are now in the red for anybody at home, they have swapped colors. Weird Squad in the red, Magna Ventus in the blue, are going to try a non-traditional comp of their own on attack like we saw from the Weird Squad. Yeah, I'm getting
Magna Ventus. Those reds and blues, man, they'll do it to you. I've been remembering because Magna Ventus has Xirius, and Magna Ventus sounds like a Harry Potter spell, and Sirius Black is a character in Harry Potter. That's how I've been doing it.
Yeah, that'll do it. See, I failed kindergarten because I couldn't remember my colors, so this is really not helping right now. And we do see a Sombra Widowmaker comp, and
yes,
they're waiting in spawn. It was a scout, so Slater might be heading back, although
where's the defense? There's one. He's sleuthed out that there's going to be a Brigida. I'm sure they're surprised.
Yeah, they're on a Sombra dive goats composition. See us a lot out of the Houston Outlaws. Wonder if they can find more success than them, as now they find a huge hack on a bumper fan, and this could be a very big pick. Oh my god, perfectly played.
Oh, that is not good. That is not good for Magna Ventus. Pretty much a non-existent hold right there. I don't think they did anything to delay that cart for more than a second. They're going to have to pretty much completely fall back. They're pushing for stragglers. Stragglers are trying to make life difficult for them, not particularly succeeding. Xirius not able to hide from the opposing diva. Not even sure if she's going to get out with her life. She did.
Escapes being DMAC there, and I really want to highlight something that happened in that last fight where Skarm knocked all the Magna Ventus off the high ground and allowed Slater to find that hack, which then led all this momentum change. And speaking of change, we do see that Magna Ventus switched over to that Reinhardt 3-3 to kind of contest that card more, press that advantage, but that bomb's going to make it very hard to find any real presence on it.
Alright, that bomb came out. They were able to cycle away in time. This is their first real chance to block the payload this entire map. I guess not this entire map, this entire offense. But they're going to be pushing in there. They're going to be trying to hold, but Noro fell milliseconds before Aduuuh came in with the Zenyatta ult to keep him alive. Too little, too late. Omiske going down. Everyone going down. That is going to be a capture with 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So they captured that point, I'd say 10 seconds faster than their opponent, which in my books is pretty much dead even.
Yeah, and Aduuuh trying so hard to get that trance out before Noro fell, but it can literally be frames or a single frame to decide if that transcendence burst heal can really help you out there. So now as we go into this, the key difference is despite having similar time banks, Weird Squad's in a position to find a fairly decisive fight here. They have the EMP, they have the Diva Bomb, and so if they can find 1 or 2 kills off of that, they're going to have a humongous time bank pushing into point seed.
Yeah, I would want to be... Oh, here we go. We're starting things off with a 6-man EMP, hitting everyone on the opposing team. Dogefighter pushing in on that.
Actually behind them, Zenyatta doesn't make steps. Zenyatta doesn't make sound when he steps. Being a sneaky little Omnic Monk, finds the kills in the back, and this fight is starting horribly wrong for Weird Squad.
Yeah, no, things are absolutely not looking good for them at the moment. Dogefighter going down. And it looks like, yeah, that's going to be a defensive hold for Magna Ventus. I thought that the Weird Squad started everything off correctly.
Yeah, they found a 6-man EMP, so literally no one could use their abilities, but the key factor there was that they didn't get the right focus. Aduuuh and Bumper Fan were both hacked and behind the enemy lines, and they didn't notice they were there, didn't turn around and get them, which allowed Aduuuh to find that miracle pick and gave them time for the hack to wear off. And I credit to Slater there, right? He used EMP last fight. He already has another one. It's a fast-charging ultimate, but to have 2 in 2 fights is insane efficiency. And we see a Reinhardt switch over now. That grab bomb is going to be devastating.
Oh dear. The only saving grace is that while both supports died, and this is absolutely a failed push, they did manage to hold on to their ultimates. So Zenyatta and Lucia are going to have ultimates pushing into this next fight. Actually, speaking of ultimates, the Weird Squad has 4. Magna Ventus only has 1. They are going into this next fight with a very strong ultimate advantage.
They do have the ultimate advantage with how far that cart's pushed back. If Magna Ventus plays this correctly, they're going to be able to contest this cart for in an early position to where they can take that later fight, but actually it seems like they're electing to take the later fight now instead of later to make it their last fight. Gonna try and let the cart push to a more advantageous position, but Slater has that EMP up, so having to push to spread out. Oh my god,
no.
He shatters him out of EMP. It's canceled.
Oh, that's terrible. No Earth Shatter for the defense. And actually both Reinhardts, so Noro has gone down for the defense, which is never good as a main tank. And finally, Bumper Fan going to cast her Brigitte ult to try and keep her team alive. It's going to do the job. They're going to have something of a defensive push here, but all the ultimates coming out. Everybody's got sound barriers. Everything's happening on the point right now. Can definitely go either way. The offense, I'd be happy if I were the offense on this push, but I need to land a couple of picks. And the defense has managed to hold long enough. Noro is back, swinging with that hammer.
Oh, he does it again. He pops her attention a second too late, and Xirius is going to follow his result. Nora coming close to the shadow might be able to pull off a miracle.
No.
Won't have time to even cast it. It's actually going to get canceled in response. So not only is Magna Ventus going to be, not only is the Weird Squad going to be winning this attack, they actually managed to cancel Noro's Earth Shatter.
Oh man, they played everything right there. They did everything you needed to do to be able to keep this payload moving. And I believe they're going to cap this without the defense managing to block them in the slightest, which means they're going to go into this final point with 30 seconds more on the clock than their opponents had, which again is still not a lot of time to capture this last point. This is such a difficult point to take. And the defense is
Again,
already set up to block.
Slater's insane efficiency, for anybody wondering, still having a third EMP for the third fight in a row. An early Graviton Surge might negate having that EMP anyway, though, because this is
oh man, they weren't able to get any kills. They were completely countered by RigPig's Transcendence. And here comes the counter grab. Let's see if they'll be successful. They are not. Magna Ventus getting a lot more kills, as in a non-zero number of kills with their Graviton, which is going to allow them to keep pushing this point. And that is a full team kill. The defense is going to have to regroup. The only ultimate they have ready is Bumper Fan's Brigitte Rally, and they're going to be coming up against Magna Ventus, half of which have ult.
And the key factor is that they have the EMP Shatter combination, so everyone behind Noro's Ryan Shield won't even matter. It's gone. 6 people on the ground.
Oh dear.
And
oh, that was good. That was good. Excellent, excellent ultimate combo there with the Reinhardt and the Sombra, managing to just sweep that defense. Thank you for coming. No questions asked. We're going to keep this payload moving.
yeah, Xirius actually managed to stall that card out for a little bit longer than he should have, which allows time for everyone to respawn here. So Magna Ventus actually has time to fully regroup as a popular trance early, tired of people dying before getting casted. No, gets that. His trance is negated.
Oh man, and not negated was Skarm's Lucio ult, managing to keep the team alive, but that did delay enough time for the defense to regroup, and does look like it's going to go the way of the defense this particular fight. The offense, Magna Ventus, pushing back and regrouping. So with 43 seconds left on the clock.
Skarm's on the cart. Skarm's on the cart. Doesn't get time.
Did he get it? Oh my gosh, he got it! He backcapped like a pro. That was hilarious. I love Lucio so much.
That was amazing. Skarm sees that that fight's lost, and he hides behind, knowing that Magna Ventus is going to try and push their advantage, gets behind it, and then uses a perfectly timed Lucio boop to throw him off the cart to get that last half a meter in. Good job on Skarm there.
I love when stuff like that happens. He almost fooled us. I was barely even looking that way. I did manage to get it, but I also thought that Magna Ventus was going to push their advantage really hard, or not Magna Ventus. The Weird Squad was going to push their advantage. That's what they do. They're such an aggressive team. Oh, I love when games end with a back cap. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and so
that puts
that 1-1 for the series.
Yeah, exactly. Or no, I think this is the second win for Magna Ventus. Is it?
The Weird Squad won that one.
Oh, the Weird Squad won that one. Okay, so that is a 1-1. Awesome. Yep. Always good to keep things close.
And so, Skarm showing us a bit of flair there on that Lucio. It looks like Petal is back in the match. Not even God himself can stop him from playing Overwatch.
Yay. So let's see. Do you think he's going to swap back in for Navjeet?
I'm going to assume so. Maybe not. Navjeet wasn't expecting to be played in there, so not the most warmed up. As we're gonna head to Horizon Lunar Colony.
Horizon Lunar Colony, an interesting map. I still get lost in it. Ever since they did the rework, I don't know what it is. I've been playing the rework more than I've played even the chat's not particularly excited for Horizon Lunar Colony. I don't know what it is about the moon map, man.
I mean, in particularly, it's a very long, atrociously long map for the attack to walk back, and even for the defense. So finding one pick can literally be a death sentence, because it's going to take 30 seconds for anyone to walk back. So you oftentimes see a bunker composition tiers, because you play so well together that for one person to fall, everybody has to fall. And we've seen a lot of Clown Fiesta compositions, so might not be out of the realm of possibility to see a Bastion on these defenses.
Which I would consider that a silver lining. It's always fun when you see Bastion bunker comps. They don't tend to have the greatest success rates, but they are quite a charm to watch, whether they succeed or fail.
Yeah, Baptiste kind of boosting those numbers up just a little bit, but as teams have learned to adjust to Baptiste's immortality field, his usefulness has dropped a little bit. So we're going to see what these characters are playing here in a couple seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while since I've seen anyone play Baptiste to any effect, which is a shame. I really love his kit, and I would love to see more Baptiste. I can't... Oh, hey, speak of the devil, there's a Baptiste on Aduuuh. Let's see if it sticks around.
Probably as they're walking out of spawn, and I did highlight how long this walk is. No one wants to make it 3 times. Yeah. I'm gonna be seeing this bunker comp. Not saying I called that, but
I'm saying you called that. You absolutely said this was what was going to happen, and I'm excited. This is gonna be pretty great. Yeah, we got Orisa, we got Bastion, we've got Baptiste to try to keep them alive. Pretty much the one time that you see Baptiste because of his immortality field. Opposing them, there is going to be a Sombra and a Genji. Let's see. Do you think they're going to stick on this comp once they see what they're up against?
They probably will because it is very high in mobility, and Lunacy switching over to that Ashe there. So, never mind. Still
yeah, that didn't last long.
Yeah, this is a high mobility comp. That's really what you want against these bunker comps. If you can't out damage them, you can out mobility them. And seeing that, Dogefighter here probably just going to stick to the point.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame them for doing that. I mean, if you can reach the point, then the bunker has to get up and chase you all the way over to it. For the time being, Petal on Bastion, no problems. He's completely covered. The president has all his social security.
If Slater gets this hack onto Petal here, I'm going to be amazed. Lunacy going to be hacked in response, and they actually managed to find Bunker Fan? I don't know how that happened. And they hacked Petal. Okay, then Slater's just the greatest Sombra on the face of the planet now, as instant jump in, which once Bastion can't be put into his burn form, the hack's worn off, and now Lunacy gonna fall. So this might be what Weird Squad needs, is they find both tanks coming over.
Wow. The bunker held. Everything that wasn't the bunker died, but then Mercy was able to get a clutch res off, and the defense is absolutely going to hold this unless that Sombra is able to pull off another miracle.
Yeah. As a consolation prize, they did find 1 tick of permanent progress there, so that is a third of the point no longer having to be captured.
And
if you see there, you'll see RigPig very close to his nano boost. Aeko has his Genji blade, and Nano Blade, one of the strongest ultimate combinations in the game, so that's really what you're playing for at this point, as even though Slater found that hack, he couldn't really find the damage he needed. And speaking of damage,
here comes the ultimate right in front of Bastion. The opposing team is like, well, okay, let's just wait for that to wear off before we push. Though they are losing time because of it.
Yeah, walking in front of a damage boosted Bastion has amplification matrix in it is a death sentence. Now, Petal actually using his tank ultimate here. They're doing a great job of stalling out because you're not going to push into an immortality code. And Aeko tries to reflect, but Petal shoots at the ground and the splash damage kills him.
Getting flashbacks to Team Fortress 2 Soldier versus Pyro. You can't do that. And this bunker's going to continue to hold. This time is still running out. They only have 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock to get something to happen. They do have a couple of ultimates ready. We're gonna keep an eye on Genji because I think they're gonna use him to start.
Bomberfan 420 though has his EMP, so that could be a great shutdown to Aeko, who dies again before the fight can start. And that's
they don't have a mercy. They can't res that.
Yeah, bunker comp is so strong when you have to stagger in one by one like this, and they're finding the kills they need. 1 kill every other 20-30 seconds, causing so much time to go on. Less than a minute remaining on this attack for Weird Squad here.
Yeah, I'd be feeling the pressure right now if I were Weird Squad. I was gonna say nothing they've tried, but they aren't trying anything. They just keep losing 1 player before they actually get anything to happen, and then the other 5 just hang back. So we have Slater coming in one more time. He's gonna be able to get ultimate if he either just waits, but they know he's back there somewhere, and they're hoping that they can hit him with Diva.
Slater channeling his inner Keanu Reeves there, dodging those, and that's a very nice EMP. Nano Blade coming out, EMP response, and it's hard to tell who's really getting the edge of this fight. Aeko's gonna find 2 with his Nano Blade though.
And there we go. That's what they needed. They're gonna get that Baptiste out of the way. They're gonna finish off the bunker. Bunker, you did a really good job, but every bunker must fall.
I don't know if this one necessarily has, though. Noro falling might be the final wrench there. Xirius throwing in his Diva bomb, so might be showing that they're going to try to invest this. Omiske, they're coming back.
Oh no, poor Xirius. You can't be serious.
Yeah, and just like Order of the Phoenix, Xirius has fallen. So gonna be almost an overtime here as Petal is gonna switch back here. There's potential for a double cap now as the Dogefighter has his Primal Rage, and they are now just switching over to 3-3 variant.
Yeah, they've lost all their ultimate charge because they've had to switch over, and the offense is just pushing in, not wasting any time. Weird Squad popping their first support ultimate to give their team the advantage as they push onto this point. And I do see an Ashe grenade is on the field, and Ashe getting some work done, finishing off D.Va's mech. But they are not so far able to cap the point. If they can just get rid of that... Ooh, there we go. Ooh, this Ashe is getting work done.
Finding Noro there as X gets a stagger on here, and now Dogefighter is back with his Primal Rage, so this could be a very hefty time bank now. The EMP is going to come out, but I don't know if they came in time as they're 50% away from fully capturing this. They have to stagger one by one. Xirius finally getting demexed. Now Noro's coming back in, not going to be able to use the EMP coming out. Bomb gonna zone him off the point.
Oh man, the offense is doing everything right here. The only thing Ashe hasn't been able to hit with that grenade is Tracer with some unlucky timing on the blips. Oh, but he's going to be able to finish it up just as I said it. And that was going to be a very commanding second point take. They may have had trouble with the first point, but they more than made up for that with the second point.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost 3 minutes, and that just shows you how much momentum can really be impactful, because it took them almost all 4 minutes of capture point A, but the second they did, they were able to charge forward, press their advantage. Weird Squad was able to press their advantage as Magna Ventus had to go back to the spawn to switch to a proper point B comp, caught them with their pants down, and managed to take that point before they were even leaving spawn.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to see what happens here, because the Weird Squad saw how successful that bunker defense was, and I noticed that there is a trend where if something worked for the opposing team, the other team likes to try and mirror it, but they of course don't have to do a bunker comp. So we'll have to see what they end up picking, because like you said, the walk back to spawn is so terrible that the Weird Squad, the Weird Squad is not going to change their strat once they've picked it.
It looks like they are electing to run.
No complaints. I'll take it. Yeah, I love bunker comp, like in general. You don't see it that often. This is a map where you see it. Maybe I was too harsh on Horizon Lunar Colony.
Yeah. Horizon does have its one good point, which is that you get to see the Bastion. So now as we go into this
no, Petal switched off of Symmetra. I had hopes, I had dreams.
This is an interesting composition here.
Yeah, it's 3 supports, 2 tanks, and a Sombra. It's Goat Sombra. Oh, they're sending him in for recon. They want to see what they got. He says, guys, they got bunker comp.
Yeah, once they see that bunker comp, they're going to walk back into spawn and probably end up switching to a more mobile composition here. Oh, okay, yeah, 2-2-2 composition. Winston, D.Va, Summer, Genji, just try and find that hack on this later.
Yeah, don't blame them. Let's see if they have more success than the Weird Squad did when they tried to do this. They're definitely doing the same thing. They're cycling people around, trying to make it to the point. Slater, just having fun, telling people, see you later, as I gun you down. Uh-oh, here we go.
A good jump in there. A good use of defensive mixtures by Xirius allowed him enough time to build a little bit of charge there. Bumper Fan pulling an Aeko, dying but as that fight starts to go on their way. So that is going to be this first fight underway for the Weird Squad.
Look at that stagger, man. They members of Magna Ventus are taking forever to die. They're just gonna say, all right, here you go, Xirius. You can stay alive in baby D.Va form. Force you to switch characters, lose your ultimate, because there's nowhere for him to even kill himself on the map. He's gonna just have to give up that ultimate percent, which admittedly wasn't that much.
While that's going on, though, Petal managed to get in the backline, drawing some attention off. So there's actually a bit of time here where the team is not playing in a full bunker composition, a bit spread out, and that window has elapsed, but now Noro's in a position they can pressure this point. He's going to get hacked by Aeko, though, so they're overall, Magna Ventus is doing a good job of just stalling this timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be sad if I were them. Here we go. They're trying to push their way through. Get over. Bumper Fan. Bumper Fan is going to go down with his Genji ult, which is going to force the offense to regroup again and wait for him to come back. And look at all these ultimates on the Weird Squad. They have almost all 6 ultimates.
And the only one they're missing is the bongos from Dogefighter, which, not the most impactful ultimate, so not the worst thing to be missing. And Petal having a rough time of charging his his
Yeah.
EMP here is we're coming on to a minute and a half now, and he's just getting to the final 10%.
That being said, they are not paying attention to him in the slightest, and if he can just he can either just wait or just deal some chip damage, and he'll have it. And I don't think they're even expecting him to show up behind them.
He's in a good position to hack Slater here, but the immortality.
There we go. Oh, he was not at the immortality field was able to get out, and then the Diva ult was able to block the opponents from pushing in there, and they're not going to get very many kills at all. Slater coming out with that ultimate as Bastion, dealing so much damage, finishing off Bumper Fan, finishing off Noro, and unless Xirius does something really amazing here, they're going to have to regroup again, and they're probably going to just have one more chance to take this point.
Yeah, you spend that entire time building up to your Nanoblade EMP combination, and all you get from it is a back cap and tick from Omiske on that Lucio, and so now they have less than a minute remaining, and they're not close to anything. Sure, Omiske's going to have his beat, but you can't really use it here, because there's not going to be a fight. You know, the Bastion's going to kill everyone before they can really push through.
This is really bad for Magna Ventus. They don't really have anything positionally, ultimate wise. They need to pull a rabbit out of a hat right now, and here we go. They're going to start things off. Omiske making it all the way to the point, immediately firing off that sound barrier, trying to give his team some advantage, but it's already gone. And it looks like the defense is holding more of an upper defense, trying to finish off Diva. Oh, Slater fell to Bumper Fan.
That's exactly what you need, but the res has come off, and now Slater has his tank configuration now. This might be able to be taken back. Aeko's gonna find Aduuuh. He does have his EMP as well, so this is not all over. We find all alive members of Weird Squad being EMP'd. They don't touch the point.
They weren't on the point. Yeah, the offense was able to capture, and now they get another 4 minutes. They're not really in a position to push. Actually, they're not in any position whatsoever. They're all dead. But they are at least going to get a chance to take that second point.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the bunker comp really struggles, is to play that point, and so it took Magna Ventus a long time to actually get everyone to the point, but once they did, it was so hard for them to really take it back. Even though they lost that fight, and numbers-wise, they managed to sneak the point through. But now they're in an awkward position where they have to run a bunker comp on this point B, where it is not optimal whatsoever. So a huge purple nade there, and we might see an even faster time come out of Weird Squad here.
Ooh, here we go. We have an ulting Genji on top of an EMP. Oh my gosh, fighting, using the reflect. A damage boosted Bastion just committed assisted suicide and sent RigPig with him. And Bumper Fan actually got a lot of work done without even dying to keep this push alive, even though his team wasn't really able to capitalize on it.
Bumper Fan did find 3 with his blade, but Dogefighter found 4 with his Tesla cannon, so, you know, math, not my strong suit, but I'm pretty sure 4 is larger than 3. It went up winning that point, and now Slater, having the tank configuration, electing to stay on the bash, no, switching back into spawn, so not going to go to the 3-3, actually going to go to a 2-2-2, a Sombra Tracer dive composition on the defense.
Interesting. Alright, and the offense, seeing that there's nobody on the point, is like, alright, well, let's get this show on the road. Noro jumping in.
In a bad spot now. Might use Primal just to stay alive.
He was able to get out. Back. And we have the offense pushing it. Dogefighter has his ultimate, but it's very low. Looks like he's playing with fire right here. He's like, I'm gonna stay in. I'm not too worried. Lunacy trying to get out with his life and his mech, succeeding in doing so. Everyone on both teams is so full. We have a Sombra EMP out, hitting a couple of people.
I don't know if Aeko meant to use EMP there, as he A, didn't find anybody, and B, yeah, that might have been a fat finger. So it's all right. You know, Aeko.
He's already got it back almost. Oh wait, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's switching.
Aeko actually. Okay, he was more using that just to use it. Gonna switch over to that Genji. Speaking of Genjis, Bumper Fan actually gonna find 2 kills here, so now they can be able to push this with an advantage, and a Nano Blade on top of that.
Here we go. Bumper Fan on Lunacy with the ultimate, finishing off Lunacy completely. But here comes an ulting Winston onto the point to try to keep it holding. They're not giving this up without a fight. Omiske getting out with his life. Dogefighter going for Bumper Fan. Wasn't able to get any kills as an ulting Winston. And the kills are coming in for the offense. This defense is not looking great right now.
Although, again, that spawn is much, much closer there for Weird Squad right now, so they have a good chance to stall this out, and they're actually finding these kills. Wow. That is amazing. awareness.
Yeah, no, the offense is doing a very good job, but yeah, no, they're going to be able to hold that amazingly. I thought the offense had that in the bag, but
I mean, that was just awareness of the point. They played the point so well and actually managed to find Noro as a stagger kill. So not only did they come back from at one point was a 6v2 situation, didn't even manage to give them a tick, and now 30 seconds left here, and it's going to be up to Petal, who finally managed to charge this EMP, but Aeko has his blade, and he's shown us he's more than capable of using it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Magna Ventus absolutely feeling the pressure right now. I don't know if they're aware that there's a Sombra behind both of their healers, but they're probably about to find out in the next few seconds. And the rest of the team holding up on the opposing catwalk, not giving a lot of ground. And here we go, both supports ulted as the rest of the team pushes in there. Ulting Genji, pushing onto the point. Bumper Fan getting another kill, getting a triple kill with his ultimate. All they have to do is finish off Lunacy, and this point is going to be theirs. Admittedly, not as quickly, but both teams will have been able to capture the point, unless the Weird Squad has something real crazy up their sleeve.
They have an blade of their own actually coming out, so Aeko might be able to find some value now, but does not look like it as it's going to respond. Dogefighter actually getting the nano here as it wasn't online at the time. He finds it does, so this could be what they need here.
Yeah, trying to finish off Xirius' mech, succeeding in doing so. Not that many left. If they can just finish off these last few stragglers, then they might be able to capture the point. They've got an ultimate to help them out, and it is not going to happen.
The Diva Bomb's throwing them off the point, so I mean that defense there from Weird Squad is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah.
Playing the point so well that despite definitely losing those fights, they were able to stall enough time to get everyone they needed back. And just a little highlight here from Dogefighter on the monkey.
Yeah, that's always fun. Both of the main tanks. Normally the main tanks are super impactful, and I'm not going to say that they didn't do a lot for these fights, but I feel like a lot of these fights went down to the DPS, what the Genjis and the Sombras were doing. Kind of like how on that first map the Pharahs were really impactful. I feel like this time the Genjis did a lot more than I expected.
Aeko Sombra has shown to be top class in really shutting down Noro, and it's not a matter of Noro playing subpar, it's that Aeko is constantly on top of him, and if you're a Winston or you're a Reinhardt and you're hacked, you're literally just an ultimate battery, because you don't have any of your abilities. So going into that 2-1 as we head into our fourth map of this scrim, who do you think is going to end up taking the advantage of maps at the end of this, Abacus?
It is going to depend on what the next map is, so I'm keeping an eye on it. So is it attack defense? Is that what usually happens for the third map?
Well, as we were on an assault, I'm pretty sure going to
we were just on attack
map.
defense. So what's next? Hybrid?
Yep. Oh, it's
interesting. Yeah, hybrid doesn't give me a lot to go off of because these teams, their strengths seem to be in their switches. Both of them are very comfortable swapping things up if whatever they're currently doing isn't working. So and hybrid gives such an opportunity for that. I think I'm going to have to give it to the Weird Squad. I feel like the Weird Squad has been using their ultimates to slightly better effect, even if it's not much of an advantage.
And we will head to a Blizzard World here. And Blizzard World, a colorful map, so always nice to see compared to the dull gray, beige, black that is Horizon Lunar Colony now. And
I love Blizzard World. Like if I could go to one map in Overwatch, it'd be. I mean, look at this place. It's like a theme park. All these great rides.
Honestly, can Blizzard just make this? I mean, surely with the money they're saving by crowdsourcing Overwatch, they can put some of that into building an amusement park.
Exactly. Yeah, get this happening. This isn't a particularly large amusement park. I mean, really.
I mean, like, the part we can play on, but there's like a giant Ferris wheel in the background, like those StarCraft pylons, I mean, that is an enormous loop-de-loop over there, so a bit bigger than it seems to be.
You make a fair point. I'll give you this one. It looks like both teams are getting themselves sorted pretty standard. So we can only say for sure what Magna Ventus is going to stick with since they don't have time to go back and switch. And it looks like they're going with a pretty classic Goats comp.
Yeah, I'm going to run that Winston 3-3 here, and that's probably just running that Winston. Just they're going to assume that Weird Squad's going to be running the Clown Fiesta composition, which actually running a Reinhardt 3-3, so Weird Squad, not living up to their name, playing something very normal, can actually have a pretty big advantage with this Reinhardt coming into this attack.
Yeah, interesting. They're just kind of pushing through the point because, you know, Goats was set up on that flight to Duskwood catwalk that they love so much. And we're gonna have pretty classic Goats combo. They're gonna be pushing in onto the point right now. Defense easily ready for them. We have kills going every which way. Aeko on the offense is actually the first one to fall.
Yeah, not what you want to see there, and Dogefighter as well. So two of the most important characters in the Rhine 3-3 composition falling early there, as that is a clean defense from Magna Ventus.
Yeah, no questions asked. Magna Ventus is going to hold this point for the time being. Weird Squad going to regroup, see if they're going to change anything up. Looks like they've decided to keep everything the same unless Skarm does something really strange. And both teams that was pretty much an ult building fight right there.
Yeah, and speaking of building ults, Magna Ventus doing a much better job of it, gonna have 3 online, and more importantly, Noro has that Primal Rage, and with so many close bodies together, Primal Rage can become such a great ultimate, as you can literally throw entire teams back through the choke, versus having to burn all of their cooldowns again just to go through it, and Primal Rage actually burned very fast here, has to hide in the shadows.
Yeah, Noro having to spend a significant part of his ult hiding and getting his health back after getting chewed up in the first few seconds of his push. So the offense has a really good opportunity here. It's actually able to zone the defense off the point. Even the ulting Zenyatta is not able to stop some capture time from coming down. Offense not pulling any punches on this push. Here we go. We have an ultimate right on Bumper Fan's face. Omiske gonna use his ultimate along with Petal. Block this cap for a little bit longer, but for the most part, this defense has cracked.
Yeah, I mean, again, you talk about the domino effect in the 3-3 match. We saw, I think, 9 ultimates being used before Noro finally fell. And the second Noro fell, Bumper Fan instantly did as in response because there's so much synergy involved in that. So switching over to that Ryan 3-3 to match him now, gonna be a more even fight as you're gonna be running the Reinhardt into the Reinhardt.
Yeah, this is an interesting space. Looks like they're holding up here on the top floor, and the offense is pushing into it. Oh, they're going to Reinhardt as Noro is cycling around, getting onto the point. Doesn't want to give them free payload pushing time. The ultimate is out for the offense, tagging a number of people on the defense. Noro is the first to fall. Xirius is going to go soon after. Petal is down. And as soon as they finish off this Lucio, that is going to be a successful push for the offense, and the Weird Squad is going to get a bunch of payload pushing time to add on to their already commanding time bank.
Yeah, I mean, you see 3 people there in an easy spot to grab, and you're going to pull that because you win that fight and you get those 3 kills. You also get the ult charge from the other 3 people who have to play at a disadvantage. So already coming onto these final meters for point B, and there's no real hole here.
You say that, but there's the Graviton, not able to actually get anything happening. Aduuuh down, Noro down. Yes, you are right. There is not going to be much of a hold here unless something really crazy happens.
Yeah, I mean, that grab came out very early, but there was no real follow-up into it. There's so much damage there. Slater really melting them down with that Zarya beam. This is going to be a 5-minute time bank. Sorry, a 4-minute time bank.
And look at how far up the offense is pushing. They knew that the defense was going to have to cycle around because they had no hope of contesting, and they don't want to let it happen easily. And they only have 2 people pushing the point, and the remaining 4 are all the way up here. Actually managed to force out Bumper's ultimate, so they're not going to have a rally.
They play so aggressive. They have to actually pop rally just to stay in the fight. Slater falls playing some Jonak level mastery of Zen there, finding Slater. Being able to push aggressively now. Bumper Fan gonna fall. Even trades here as RigPig and Pop transcends him up, and wow, okay, 2 transcends early in this fight. 3-man shatter.
Look at that. That grab was so, or not the grab. The grab was great too. The Earth Shatter, but nothing really came of it. Speaking of Earth Shatters, there is another one.
None of the kills. This fight very, very even for both teams now, though it looks like Magna Ventus on their back foot gonna have to give up some ground.
Yeah, so far the Weird Squad has been having more of an advantage. We have a Graviton out. Dogefighter doing his best to keep his team alive, not succeeding entirely. He's gonna fall. Skarm's gonna fall, and this is like the first time since the very beginning of the match that the defense is going to get a full wipe and actually manage to hold this payload commandingly.
I really like what Magna Ventus did there, though. They played that aggressively. They saw that ultimates were being used by both teams. They knew that they were close to their Graviton Surge, so they played it back a little bit, force Magna Ventus to use their cooldowns to get to that position the position to contest them, and when they do, instantly pop the grab, follow up on it, and finally find one kill out of all 10 ultimates being exchanged in that fight. Lunacy popping that bomb early just to find anything.
Dogefighter manages to block the Reinhardt ult, has his own ready. If he can get something off on it, this is going to be a very good push for his team. He doesn't even need to use it. They don't need to use Earth Strike. They win the fight without it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Lunacy managed to threaten Needle with that Diva Bomb and to find Omiske at a very awkward angle without that retreatment tool that is Lucio's speed boost. You know, that fight, you have to press forward, and you really don't want to press forward into that. Gonna be losing that. Petal does have another grab, though, as both rallies are popped at the same time, so it's really up to him to find any value out of that. The amazing Shatter block, though.
Yeah, blocked the Shatter completely. He's going to keep his team alive from the Graviton, keep his team alive from the Diva ult, which means he's not going to have a shield for the next few seconds. Other team not able to get much of that. Oh, he was able to get it back just in time to block that Earth Shatter, even if he was able to fall seconds before RigPig got the Transcendence off to try to keep him alive, and that turned out to be the linchpin, the straw that broke the camel's back. They are going to regroup, and Magna Ventus is going to hold for a little while longer.
Yeah, Skarm was wall riding on the roof trying to get another back cap, but you saw Aduuuh. They're holding it firmly. Not again, he says. So a minute gone from that very hefty time bank, and all of a sudden, this is looking good if you're Weird Squad. I mean, if you're Magna Ventus on this defense, you know, you have an option here to actually realistically full hold this.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of holding up till now, but it's going to get a lot harder because a fully charged Zarya is coming in. She has her ultimate ready. If she can get something to happen with this Graviton, they have a really good chance of being able to push through this. But with 60 seconds left, they're going to need to make it happen soon.
And Lunacy dying is going to take 10 seconds out of that time bank now, and Slater's trying to find any charge he can, actually falling very low, so even if he can find a grab without being on high charge, no real follow-ups can be put into that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they can get happening. Here we go. We have the rally coming out to keep the team alive. A lot of damage being put on. Reinhardt doing a very good job keeping his team alive. Here comes the Graviton, countered by the Zenyatta Transcendence, which cannot counter. A Diva ult, managing to get Zarya and Lucio for the defense, and that is going to be the crack they need. The offense is pushing through here.
I don't know if they are, though, because a Shatter from Noro actually managed to trade this, so it's an even 4-4 fight, and I think that Magna Ventus actually has the advantage right now.
Oh my, how? That was, wow, alright, yeah, I stand corrected. The defense standing pinky keen as the offense trying to regroup for one final overtime push.
Dogefighter comes down out of nowhere and actually manages to pin Bumper Fan, though, so there is a very likely situation where they get this third point, as now they have to wait, and Aduuuh falling again. They're going to push this without all 6 members now, as this card might just go through without any contest.
Yeah, they don't have anyone to block. Here we have a Diva comes out the last minute. They have a shield ready to block it. The defense is able to show up 11th hour, keep that payload from just coasting onto the point. We got Bumper Fan's rally is out to keep the offense alive for this final push, or the defense alive. And here we go. They're pushing. There's a Graviton out. Bumper Fan. We have a Zenyatta. That was not the Zenyatta for the team that was being Gravitoned, though. Oh, Lunacy was able to finish off Petal. No, man, things are getting hectic.
Yeah, Noro finding his second Shatter of that fight, but not finding any kills out of any of them. And I think this is going the way of Magna Ventus, but it's really hard to tell as it's chaotic fight.
No, they weren't able to cap. They had 2.45 meters to go.
Yeah, good job there by Magna Ventus on that defense, managing for 4. Won't see Blue World.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be able to take that. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Blizzard World is known to have that problem with Point C being one of the harder to cap in the game, because there are just defined choke points with how curvy it is. So now as we go into this, you know, a full cap is needed to realistically take this map away and take the series away from Magna Ventus for Weird Squad here.
Yeah, exactly. No, I would agree with that. It feels like a lot of the maps we've played, other than Ilios, they've all had very difficult final point captures. Like none of these is very easy to push into that final point right there. But they're gonna need to get something to happen. And if I'm not mistaken, we pretty much saw nothing but goats. I think there are some sombras here and there, but I feel like both teams for the first time went with really standard comps for this entire map.
Yeah, we've been kind of lucky on the map pools we've had where it hasn't been you need to play 3-3, but Blizzard World is one of those maps that does require it. And as I say that, Omiske is running the Torbjorn. It could just be a little playing around in the spawn, but I have hope for attack Torb meta one day.
Let's do it. Attack Torb, attack Widow. I've got my fingers crossed, and my fingers are now uncrossed. It didn't happen. Breaking my heart, Omiske.
And so, the Reinhardt 3-3 mirror matchup, one of my personal favorites, even though it is a bit overplayed, it requires a lot of intricacies as we push into now and into this, and Magna Ventus is not wasting any time charging aggressively in a weird squad here.
Which is pretty classic for them. Both of these are very aggressive teams, but oh no, Noro is going to be the first one to fall, which is not spelling good news for the offense. Defense pretty handily taking that. I'm surprised that Noro fell as quickly as he did. He still had shield and everything.
Very good play there by Lunacy, who's actually waiting in the back and flies into Noro, pushing him up right into Dogefighter and gets burned down because of that. So really good D.Va play there out of Lunacy. We saw him use that D.Va bomb effectively and just taking advantage of everything D.Va's kit has to offer. And Dogefighter, finding such an early fight, already has his shatter available.
Wow, then they're able to get all the way to the point. Dogefighter is falling before being able to use that Earth Shatter, which is very good news for the offense. And there's not really much of a defensive hold here. We have Skarm trying to block as much as he can, but for the most part, the defense is just going to give this one up.
No, if they're going to give this up, their Skarm's in a position to get back, and Dogefighter does have a shatter. They're investing.
Oh, they're not. The Weird Squad is not giving it up that easily. They're going to push in right into that Earth Shatter. That Earth Shatter was mostly blocked by Aduuuh's Transcendence, but it's the thought that counts, and the defense is still holding, but they're not holding as well as they were a minute ago.
Yeah, and really now it's just coming into stall there, so investing those ults ended up saving them about 30 seconds, which not the most effective thing, but traded ults into it, so could have been much worse. 4.5 minutes, you know, a good time bank to push now. As we see the Weird Squad, they have the Graviton Surge bomb combination.
Yeah, the classic 1-2, the Wombo combo of Overwatch, and they're going to be pushing up this top shelf, and the Zarya is getting ready, trying to find a place that she can drop that Graviton without the other team noticing. Though while they do that, they're going to cycle around onto the payload. Brigitte, the offensive Brigitte, is going to pop her rally to keep her team alive, and there we have the Graviton out for the defense, countered by Omiske's sound barrier, but not completely. Lunacy able to get 2 kills in 1 mech, and that is going to be a defensive hold.
Yeah, I mean, while that was a good early fight from Weird Squad there, they had to heavily invest in that, using all 3 of their tank ultimates, which does not put them in a good position now, as Noro's 90% to Shatter, Pedal's 80% to the Graviton Surge, and Xirius has his bomb, so this might be bad. They're playing aggressively, though, trying to make up that deficit, and doing a good job of it, too.
Wow.
Already 50% on all the ultimates they really need.
Yeah, that is seriously aggressive for a hold like this. The spawn is right there. But, I mean, it's working out for them so far, though Noro has that Earth Shatter ready. If he can get a real golden one off there, he's flanking around. There's nobody to block, and he didn't hit anyone.
Yeah, and we get that little bit of shield there to block it. Aeko gonna fall, and now they're in a bad spot to rush the retreat, and it looks like their aggressiveness is gonna be paid off as they're losing this fight without with the cart not even being pushed.
Lucio almost booped Lucio's. It happens. Did not happen this time. And that is going to... They're finally they managed to crack the defense. And Magna Ventus is able to push this payload a little bit farther. 246. I believe the Weird Squad was doing better on time at this stage in the map. And a large part of it is because of how aggressive the Weird Squad is playing on this defense.
I mean, they managed to take off about half their time bank there in their spawn and actually force them to use ultimates too. So now Weird Squad in a good position now. Aeko popping that rally, gonna force him to get back. Pedal's behind them. with a grab. And, oh, it gets spot out, so won't be able to use it.
Oh, there comes the first grab. Countered by RigPig's Transcendence, and Slater's grab is ready to counter-attack with, if he can manage to get it off without getting eaten by the D.Va. And there it is, he managed to get it off, managed to tag a bunch of people on the enemy team. D.Va ult right in the center, nobody able to block it.
I mean, that is a once-in-a-blue moon D.Va ultimate where it gets right into the grab, but Noro responding back and saying this is not over yet, finding 2 kills of his own, so Lunacy's heroics look like it's going to be in vain as Magna Opus manages to take that fight regardless.
Oh no. Bye, Lunacy. It was nice knowing you. And here we go. They're going to continue pushing the point. They're not all going to be together, actually. Their Reinhardt is very split off from the rest of them, so if the defense capitalizes on this, that may be difficult. Dogefighter pushing in there at 66%. He's going to have his Earth Shatter incredibly soon.
Yeah, Skarm going to fall early. That's really not what you want, so they do have a potential to hold this. Dogefighter has that Shatter, but he's being pushed on so much, he might not have the time to use it. And the Master comes finds 3.
He used 3. I don't know if they were able to really capitalize on that. Both Reinhardts are down. Everyone's missing their main tank at the moment. And the defense, once again, not interested in giving this point up. They're like, we don't care how close it is to capping. We don't care that we lost our main tank. We're gonna scare you off and continue bleeding this time bank. Less than a minute on the clock, and the offense is in full retreat.
Yeah, despite trading there, Slater was higher charged than Petal was, so his Zarya was that much more impactful. Mirror grab Baton Surge is coming up here, so we're in last fight territories. This clock gonna come down to 30 seconds here soon. And a grab fairly early here. I don't know if there's really space to capitalize on it.
Yeah, there absolutely isn't now that the Lucio used his sound barrier to keep everybody alive. And all the ultimates coming out right now. But not actually getting any kills. Lunacy's popping D.Va ult right there. Again, not managing to kill anybody. Offense is not out yet, but with 17 seconds, this is going to go into an overtime push whether they like it or not.
And a very, very low health bars on the side of Weird Squad. Dogefighter actually falling before I can finish that sentence out here. So, if you are Magna Opus, not Magna Opus, Magna Ventus, you have a good advantage here as you're going to find Aeko. I say that Noro falls and Dogefighter's on his way back, so this is not here.
Yeah, there was a Magna Opus, but I think it was for the Weird Squad. This was one of the most commanding holds I've ever seen, considering how little they had to work with. But they were not actually able to hold. So it can't be a Magnum Opus because it failed.
Yeah, getting that Graviton Surge out of Magna Ventus there is very good if you're Weird Squad, because now you're free to use your support ultimates to help you play aggressively into those fights, and with only a minute left and a long way to go, you only really need to win one fight, so Aeko playing aggressive here might end up falling beforehand. Oh,
no, was not punished due to an amazing ultimate right there. Manages to bait out the Zenyatta ult. Not actually able to kill off Noro anyway. They don't care. And they're just going to keep this going. Zarya, Petal is not looking like they're in a good position right now. And they're going to fall after taking damage from 5 different opponents. And once again, with time bleeding out, 43 seconds left on the clock to complete this map for Magna Ventus. The Weird Squad holding strong.
Yeah, they're going to have 4 ultimates here to push into this, so it's going to take a lot from Magna Ventus to get through this. Cyrus is going to have to show some heroics on the D.Va bomb. Lunacy.
Oh no,
my god, how does he do it? How does he do it? He finds 2 kills out of that D.Va bomb. Cyrus finds one's in response, but I don't know if it's enough. Dogefighter is up.
Oh, it's raining bombs here for the offense, and they're not going to be able to get... They are able to get to the point. They're able to continue contesting it, so this is going to go to an overtime push. Dogefighter ulted, but was not able to hit anyone due to getting booped. It doesn't matter. They've got such a commanding hold on the point. The offense has one last push. They've got a Hammond in there to keep this map going. The Zenyatta's going to pop out his ultimate to keep the defense alive as this overtime wick burns out slower and slower. We have a bunch of kills for the defense. The Graviton not getting much work done, but the offense for the time being is going to take positional advantage of the cart if they can just finish off these last few defenders.
It's a very even fight, and it looks like Magna Ventus finally finding the edge, but they still have to push the entirety of point C, and Slater going to be able to get that Graviton Surge. Lunacy's shown us he's more than capable of finding kills with his D.Va bomb here, so if Weird Squad in a good position to stop this full cap here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Magna Ventus is going to have to do something as amazing as Runaway back in 2018 when they managed to take this point against that one opponent. And there we go, they're going to be pushing. They actually managed to make the cart almost the entire way due to the defense
Later
deciding...
falls very low here, so gonna get it charged up, but the Graviton Surge comes out, and Lunacy throwing his grab right in the back. Not gonna find anything unusual for him as Skarm falls very early in this fight without a Lucio that sustained his Shroud almost in half.
Yeah, this is absolutely not over yet. Barriers coming out, rallies coming out, a Diva ult coming out at a very inappropriate time. Managing to get two, Xirius managing to get a double, triple kill, and I believe they've done it. I think they managed to cap the point. Oh my gosh.
Capture, and my score might not be perfect, but I think that puts us to 2-2 for the series.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's insane. I can't believe they managed to push that all the way.
Yeah, I mean, as far as overtime fight goes, that's about as epic as they get. It was scrappy, it was close, down to the wire, but the wire favored Magna Ventus as we head to our fifth and probably final map of the series.
Oh, I'm not sure how Weird Squad was unable to hold that. I mean, they made the right call by hanging back and letting the payload push all the way to the end. Maybe, I guess that could be... that could be considered questionable, but I think it was the right call because then all they had to do was win a single fight and the wick would immediately burn off. But they just didn't manage. They couldn't translate their ultimates into kills.
Yeah, I mean, Magna Ventus played that very safe, playing close together, waiting until Weird Squad pressed their ultimate keys and responding aptly, managed to sustain through theirs, and that gave them time to build up ultimates of their own, which then they used more effectively to find those kills. And sometimes those 3-3 fights can just kind of be a coin flip of whether or not your ultimates find 6 people or find no one, as we wait in this lobby to see where our fifth and final map is going to be.
Yep, we need a tiebreaker. Both teams have won twice. Both teams have lost twice. So it's going to be up to this last map, which we're going to be seeing what it is. It's usually a control map, right? Or is it?
Well, maybe Pel's house got struck by lightning again, so a bit of an unusual hold up as we head into here. And I'm really loving these teams. We see star players on both sides.
Yeah, I feel like these teams are really balanced in a good way. They have a lot of same skills, and more importantly, they have a lot of the same weaknesses too. I feel like a lot of the criticisms and a lot of the accolades we're giving apply to both teams at the same time, which makes for a very, very close match.
As we head into Busan, the absolute clown fiesta of clown fiestas of a map. You know, I mean, we've seen Torbjorns, we've seen soldiers, Widowmakers, so.
Anything goes. Anything goes on Busan, which is why it's such a fun map to watch.
And these teams have shown that they like the Clown Fiesta. You know, they'll more than willing to play a Sombra whenever, a Tracer, 3-4 DPS. So yeah, I doubt we see a lot of 3-3, at least for these initial phases. As a Mega Base might be an exception, though, as it's one of those more maps that favors the 3-3 than the Downwood. So going into this...
Yeah. The only reason I think it's possible we might see a 3-3, not the least of which because it looks like Magna Ventus is currently set on it, though there is a May, so that is a little bit unusual, is the fact that they may be feeling the pressure. It's 2-2 right now. Whoever wins this map takes the series. That's a little scary.
A May on both sides here is Weird Squad running a weird comp indeed with a May and a Widowmaker, and they're sticking with this? Yes, okay. Oh, serious. Playing with my heart. I was hoping for the May hero. So we do have the Snoats versus the Reinhardt 3-3, and Lunacy gonna have to find a wall here, and it's, yeah, playing right into it, gonna find a space they need, but not the kills, as Aeko's gonna be traded for Noro.
Wow, they're laying kills off on the kill feed very, very quickly. Both teams managing to trade a little bit. The advantage is definitely going to the Weird Squad right now, and as Magna Ventus backs off, Weird Squad is going to take the point first and set the pacing, the tempo for these upcoming fights.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing with May very, very well here. They managed to wall off Noro early in that fight, find him as the wall is about to decay, and Lunacy already coming up to that list. More importantly, Dogefighter 90% on his Shatter, falling very low though, might not have the chance to use it.
Yeah, Petal is going to push in here. And that was a pretty healthy amount of damage on Magna Ventus's part. Xirius getting 2 kills as D.Va, going to be able to whittle down this defense somewhat and flip the point pretty quickly. I'd be okay with losing 30% if I can manage to take the point off of it. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Cruel and unusual punishment on that Mei.
As this point flips over now, looking at these ultimates, Lunacy in place the D.Va on this Mei, and unless we see Xirius can eat this Blizzard, it's going to be hard for them to really escape out of it because there's no real high mobility tools here. And that wall puts them in a really good section. That Shatter is even better.
Oh man! Wow, these are a lot of different ultimates coming out, and Red is not interested in holding back. They're like, we don't care if we're all frozen. We're going to try to push in there anyway, and that is going to get a lot of them killed, which is going to give Weird Squad the opportunity to take the point back pretty quickly. They're only going to be a couple percent down.
Yeah,
there we go.
35% able to build up there from Magna Ventus, and playing that aggressive position allowed Lunacy to split them off, throwing the Blizzard. Another very quick fight, which you don't see in this point. You know, this is a point you often see teams go 99-0-1, and then overtime fight might be able to get it 99-99. So seeing these fast clips, unusual here, as the grab comes out and the wall splits them off.
Oh yeah, that was really good timing on that wall grab combo, and they're able to get the kills off of it, or are they actually? I don't think that's really working out for them. The Magna Ventus is able to flip onto the point from this.
Yeah, another very quick one-sided fight as Magna Ventus is going to find it after another 30%, so 72% on the point.
But they are able to retake it, which means that while they only need 30% to equalize, and I am amazed at how frequently this point is flipping. Aeko trying to get a little bit of ultimate charge, didn't really succeed at it. And here we go, led by Dogefighter, the Weird Squad is going to push up to the 2nd floor. Noro has been knocked down, and he's going to have to regroup with his team if he can get there in time, but he's not able to get there in time to save Xirius's mech. The mech's going to do its own thing, it's going to ult off, keep everyone alive.
Heading to a pause now, and breaking down what just happened there, right? Noro is down. Dogefighter knows this, presses advantage. Solo Shatter Xirius because they're going to try and use the Graviton Surge Self-Destruct combination, made it to demech Xirius, force him to use his bomb, and now Petal has to respond to try and get anything out of his grav, and so he doesn't.
Yeah, and because RigPig is able to use his Transcendence to keep everyone alive. And I mean, we look at this kill feed, everyone, not this kill feed, but the player stats, everyone's alive, everyone's at full health, everyone's really close to the point. I really feel this could go either way.
Key thing is that Noro is actually has a pin onto Dogefighter here, so
yeah, it's gonna depend on what happens there. I mean, Dogefighter has a lot of health and a lot of healers, and yeah, it's not gonna really do much of anything. Both teams still alive. Oh, Noro has fallen, which is going to give Weird Squad the angle they need to retake this point.
I would say Noro was burned, but he was actually froze to death there. As Xirius now being frozen, if you can throw the Blizzard without having to fear the D.Va because she can't do anything in that stunned state. And a very even fast flip. Noro is back, but just to stall for a little bit of time. And again, these flips coming in back to back now as we see Weird Squad coming to these last 20%. Slater.
Oh no, Petal has been isolated via the Mei wall. He is able to get out alive thanks to the trans.
So now Slater's Graviton is going to have so much more value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cyrus eats it. And that's so clean, but Noro's going to fall. I don't even know if they're going to have time to touch. It's going to come up to 98%. Bumper fan running for his life and managing to touch, but it doesn't matter because
someone's backcapping.
Dying in the backline.
So the back cap was quite impressive, and it did manage to get us to an overtime. But they're going to need a miracle to manage to flip this point for the remaining 33%. Both of them are going to fall. Who's that jumping onto the point? It doesn't matter. They didn't get very far. And here we go. So that first point is going to go the way of the Weird Squad, and they are on the cusp. One more map potentially to take this entire series. So we're going to see what ends up happening now. After that, looks like we're going to this next map. I've always really liked this map because as a Lucio, people can get booped off this ledge. I love it when people get booped off ledges as Lucio.
Yeah,
and so
heading into the downtown section here, and we see Winston. Oh, I say that. We see double Hammond play as we go into this. Now this is what I'm talking about. Absolute Clown Fiesta of Clown Fiesta. The Clown Fiesta World Championships here. Double Hammond, double all the DPS compositions. So as is typical in the 3-3 meta, we like to compact all of our DPS into one map, and Slater instantly finding Bumper Fan there.
Oh, but Aeko is going to combo on that and take off Petal on Widowmaker. So the DPS advantage is absolutely going the way of Weird Squad this upcoming push, and as is appropriate for a team with that advantage, they are going to be the first ones on the point. And it's going to be up to Magna Ventus to decide if they're going to try to contest this, or neither team will cap. Here we go.
Yeah. Weird Squad finally managed to get the people on the point to start building that progress up, and
Dogefighter keeping himself alive with shields in the back. Magna Ventus regrouping. Looks like they're trying to decide which side they're going to push in on. They aren't sure if they want to go through middle. They don't know if they want to go through left. They only know they don't want to go through right. They are pushing through middle, trying to get down the stairs. Aeko as Farah is not going to make that easy for them.
Yeah, Aeko has to play these weird positions to try to avoid Petal Sarah. Actually deciding to take the duel in there, so
that was awesome.
Rotating to find Petal, but leaving RigPig and Slater very exposed now.
Yeah, we do see that people are pushing onto the point to try and see if they can capture this. I don't think they really have the numbers for it, frankly. There are far too many defenders keeping this point on their team, and there are things like Hammond and Mercy, but they're certainly not giving it up easily.
Yeah, I mean, these kills mainly going to Magna Ventus, but the trades are coming in. Dogefighter actually managed to get reds, but
wow,
he's gonna be able to pop the minefield there, so even if they can't win this fight, there's a good stall potential to build this to 200%. Petal doesn't realize they're there and actually falls to his own demise.
Oh my gosh, he must have been scoped in or something. Dogefighter is not dead yet. There we go. The point finally flipping their way at 62%. So the advantage is definitely still for the Weird Squad, but Magna Ventus was able to flip, and this is not going to be a 99-0.
Aeko finds Aduuuh, though. He won't trade his life for it, as we're going to have to see a full reset come out of Weird Squad here, as the kills are finally starting to fully go to the way of Magna Ventus.
Yeah, Skarm does manage to get out alive somehow, but they are going to have time for a full reboot as soon as Dogefighter and Slater get back from the spawn room, figure out what they're going to do next. They still have a commanding percentage. I wouldn't be too scared if I were them, but they are running out of comfort time, and they do need to start getting something to happen. And they're going to start things off with Aeko pushing in there with Mercy's help, trying to get some chip damage. Already has ultimate, so not building ult.
Slater gonna find Bumper Fan EMP in response, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. All these kills going the way of Weird Squad, rescuing out Bumper Fan. He's gonna pull out the blade and not finding anything as Slater domes him once again.
Oh, that's awesome. Here comes the Weird Squad pushing in onto the point and is trying to keep Winston alive as Dogefighter. Dogefighter was not able to survive because of the Hammond ults. Or actually, because of the Hammond ults. So they're gonna push in, and now the tables have flipped. This time it's Mantis's turn to hold the point for a really long time. Aeko managed to get a lot of damage, didn't manage to get any kills out of it though. Here we go, Lunacy going to get staggered. Noro is going to get raised, and that was a pretty commanding hold by Magna Ventus.
Not only is it a commanding hold, but they're in position to actually fully capture this, as the only ult online is Skarm's Valkyrie, which won't find the most value as there's not going to be a lot of players in close enough proximity to really get the full effect out of it. Dogefighter going to be hacked early, might even be burned down before this fight even starts.
They managed to keep Dogefighter alive, but Mercy as Slater is trying to get some heals onto the Sombra while the rest of the team is pushing in. And here they go, one more attempt, an overtime attempt, needs to go right. It is going right for now. Aeko and Dogefighter finding matching kills to give their team the numerical advantage. Noro as Hammond is going to drop, and they are going to flip the point at 63%. We may be going all the way on this map.
I mean, Aeko just kind of deciding that he was going to kill everybody there, so not much you can really do if a Pharaoh decides to turn on their toggle switch. And now as we go, this is very close. Although Xirius has that EMP, and if he can find it just the right space to find the pharmacy and some of the tanks, it could be a very easy fight win here, but that win condition itself is not the easiest to pull off.
Petal having a really hard time landing anything as Widowmaker due to the Farah and Dogefighter getting all up in her grill. But here we go. We have a couple ultimates coming out. Diva ult on the point. More of a zoning ult. There wasn't really anyone there.
Xirius died mid-cast in the EMP, so that is completely negated now. Bumperfan's back with this blade, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The bomb comes in, not finding any kills. Dogefighter's going to fall, though. Kills heading the way of Magna Ventus now. Bumperfan pulls out the blade. Doesn't matter, though. All the kills going the way of Weird Squad. Once Bumperfan can pull out the clutch out of his hat, I don't know if it's going to be enough.
There's only 3 defenders. I guess there's 4 defenders on the point now. Yeah, no, things are not looking good. That was do or die time for Magna Ventus, and it was die time, which means 2-0. That point went the way of the Weird Squad, so I believe they took our 5th map.
They will take the series here, and we're going to be playing this last map just so both teams can get all of...
So close to a double tiebreaker. I love how close these teams are.
Yeah, a very close series indeed. Oftentimes it's come down to those clutch moments, and we've seen Lunacy and Aeko are very clutch players.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, it looks like we're going... I mean, we'll have to see if they end up switching off. But I'm seeing a Genji, a McCree, and a Tracer. I don't know if they... I don't know if they're ready for that much DPS.
Well, just throw a Sombra on top of it. A quad DPS composition versus a more conservative 3 DPS composition here. So, you know, again... Clown Fiesta, Clown Fiesta, Clown Fiesta.
I mean, nothing else is working for them. They've lost the last 2 points. Might as well go for the Gusto and guys try something really crazy. I mean, there's only so many scrims before the tournament. Ooh.
Yeah. Petal finds a very alright pick on a Skarm, and you cannot res yourself as Mercy, so most effective kill there. Though Omiske gonna be traded in response, so this is gonna be even as just 4v4 on this point. Noro still alive on the Hammond though, so going to give Magna Ventus that bit of the edge.
Yeah, there's a Tracer fight on point and nobody else, so neither team is having a really easy time capturing this. Slater pretty much single-handedly capping the point for the Weird Squad, and the rest of the Weird Squad is going to respawn and cycle in there. And for the 3rd time, for the 3rd map on Busan, Magna Ventus is going to see themselves the underdogs trying to get something to stick. They've definitely had a really hard time on this final map. Even though they've been getting the picks, they just can't seem to translate it into objective time.
Yeah, and now Bumperfan actually going to be hacked. Petal finds Slater though. This is the opening that they need. There is just enough time to res him, so pushing into this. Bumperfan looking to pull out this blade before Lunacy 80% on that EMP.
Yeah, no, nothing's really working here. I was watching Petal and was not able to get the headshot on the Mercy like they needed. Slater staying alive despite being hacked, and they're getting stuff to happen in the backline, but they need to get onto the point. And there we go.
Trade's actually coming out. It's a 4v4. EMP comes out here to find all the remaining members of... I don't even know at this point. This is so back and forth, and it looks like Weird Squad's going to come out on top.
Yeah, these are some crazy fights in the backline. I've seen so few people even on the point at all. All of these fights are happening in the backline, which is definitely giving the advantage to the Weird Squad. And it looks like Petal is finally going to switch off Widowmaker and go Tracer. So that should be interesting. Both Sombras... Oh.
Petal actually going to get hacked here instantly, and Aeko finds Bumperfan before he can pull out that blade. So now when we come to this last fight, it's going to be even. Cyrus finds Slater, so there is an opening here. Not all hope is lost for Magna Ventus here. They have the EMP, they have the blade that's going to be coming in the later half of this fight.
And they have the ultimate advantage. Mercy being hacked doesn't matter, she's already ulting. Ulting Mercy doesn't care if she's hacked. Dogefighter coming in. That Sombra ult didn't hit anybody except the opposing Sombra. And here we go.
Pulling out the blade. They need the clutch, but I don't know if it's coming in time as all these kills flooding the way of Weird Squad.
Oh man, yeah, Bumperfan not getting anything done. Almost got hacked, didn't get hacked, but got Tracer ulted instead, which is not good. I don't see anybody on Magna Ventus' position to block this, and there we go. 3 easy, I don't know if easy is the right word, 3 semi-close captures going the way of the Weird Squad, which is going to close out our series 3-2.
Yep, 3-2 in favor of the Weird Squad. And Aeko on the Brigida showing us this key play here. So, hopping right into it, Abacus, who is your player of the match?
My player of the match... That's a tough call, honestly, because everybody played really well, and everybody on each team had a bunch of moments where they really popped off. I would probably have to give it to I think Lunacy. Now that might sound a little bit weird, but Lunacy was playing a lot of Diva and a lot of Sombra, and in a lot of those cases, his ultimates or his hacking or his eating of gravitons was what switched a team fight. So that might be me an unusual choice, but I do want to give it to Lunacy for his Sombra and Diva play. What about you?
You know, Lunacy having some clutch Diva bombs there, but Aeko, highlighting his Sombra and his Pharah. Not only was he constantly charging those EMPs, but he was getting 2 or 3 kills almost every single fight that he was on the Pharah. His big prey also being very passable, so overall, I mean, these teams were very evenly matched, but I think we just saw what clutch play can do. Whether it's Lunacy finding the bombs or Aeko just toggling on to kill 3 or 4 people, gave them the edge, just what they needed to barely take that 5th map in the series.
Yeah. And it's always exciting when the 5th map is an actual tiebreaker and both teams are just so balanced like that. Such a joy to watch these two teams, and I hope we get to see them again. Do you know if either of these teams are going to be in the Zero League that starts this weekend?
No, these teams are going into Open Division, but yes,
Okay.
to remind you again, League Zero coming up this weekend. So Novice Division on Saturday, Advanced Division on Sunday. I mixed those up. Advanced Division on Saturday, Novice Division on Sunday. So watch some as this community draft league battles out for glory, for bragging rights, and for fun. You know.
Yep, fun is the most important part. So yeah. If you come back here this weekend, you're going to see some exciting matches casted by myself, casted by Setka, and casted by other shoutcasters. But this cast is now over, so I'd like to thank our viewers, as always, for sticking with us these 5 maps. Setka, is there anything you'd like to say to round us out?
I think we're good. Until next time, see all you lovely ladies later.
Bye, everybody.